Hi everyone, so in this really quick video what I want to talk about are 5 reasons people find it difficult to talk about mental health. And obviously we've lots of things that are happening at the moment. There's lots of people that are coming to me, whether it's professionally because they need counselling or whether it's just friends and family who just want to talk, and they're saying they're not coming out and saying that they're depressed or that they have mental health issues, but they are expressing concerns about their mental well-being based on all the information overload and and things that are happening. So 5 reasons that people might be cautious and find it difficult to talk about mental health. Number 1, I think this is one of the key reasons really, is a fear of backlash or judgment. So many people do not want the stigma or the label, as they would perceive it, of having a mental health issue. And because it is labelled as a mental health issue, whether it's by the GP that does it or whether it's by society or however other people label it, a lot of people will just not acknowledge how they're feeling. They won't discuss it. They won't say that's what it is, because I've made a few videos on this topic, and my belief is that everyone feels down at some point in their lives. It's natural to feel down when there's been an incident or an event, but there's a difference between having bouts of feeling low or feeling down and also being depressed. And because lots of people use the term use the term out of context, so they might say I'm feeling depressed today, people get the impression that that means they have depression, and it's completely different from I'm feeling a bit low, a bit down. You can easily bounce back from that the following day, the following hour. People with depression don't have the resources to bounce back. They don't feel like they want to bounce back. It goes quite further. So one of the fears is that you'll be judged. You'll be judged as that person with a mental illness, whether it's depression or any other mental illness. People do not want the label, so they'd rather go and not get the treatment, not have that written on their record at their GP, not get medication for it. They would rather just pretend it's not happening, or it doesn't affect them. Also, people have told me this over the years when they've come for therapy. They do not want to feel like a burden. So a lot of my clients have said they don't want to be that person who puts a downer on things. They don't want to keep talking about negative thoughts. They don't want to say that they're feeling down, because they feel that they're going to put a burden on the people they're talking to. Now, my take on this is that obviously my sister had depression. I've spoke about this on this channel as well. And I think she was hiding a lot of things. She did always seem to be happy, laughing. We knew she had a diagnosis. We knew she took medication. But she was still functioning. She had episodes, but she was functioning quite well. And I think a lot of times she was putting on a brave face. She was putting on a mask. She didn't talk to us about suicidal thoughts. She didn't talk to us about how bad it was for her most of the time. And I suppose we should have been more intuitive about it. That is why now, when I do work with depressed clients or suicidal clients, I am more proactive in that sense. But I just think people feel that if I tell someone it's going to lower the mood, or if I tell someone they're going to feel sad, I'm going to make them feel sad. But I would say any family and friend would want you to tell them. No real friend or part of your family would want you to be suffering in silence. If you're struggling with mental health, their preference would be that you talk to them. It's not your responsibility on how another person's going to feel when you tell them something. That they will feel that naturally, or they might not feel anything, but you're not responsible for that. Also, people don't want pity. They don't want people to look at them differently. So if you're quite a proud person, or you see yourself as a strong person, you might feel that people are going to view you as weak or view you differently afterwards. They're not going to talk to you in the same way. They're going to have pity on you. And I know a lot of people will feel like that. So that is one of the reasons they just won't say they've got mental health, because they will think that this person is now going to feel that I'm a failure, or this person is going to look at me differently and they're going to always have sympathy for me. I'm not going to be the person I was. And it's another thing, as I've said, I just feel that you don't have to, being depressed or whatever label that, a doctor gives to you, or no matter, it's a part of who you are, but it doesn't define you. Depression isn't the whole person. My sister, as I've said, there was loads of things to her. She was intelligent. She had there was lots of talents there. There was lots of things. I don't ever just see a person as depressed, or whether they've got schizophrenia or whatever label that a doctor has put on them. It's important that they get that label sometimes, because it means they can get the right treatment. It means they can get the right medication. but the label does not define you, you know. So I think that shouldn't be a worry for you to say that you don't want to be looked at differently. You can still be yourself. It just means that this illness or this mental illness has taken over you, and that you're taking action to do something about it. Other people feel that by talking about it, it will make them feel worse. So they'd rather not talk about it. And that applies to lots of things. As a counsellor, there's times where I know that people who possibly need counselling will not access counselling. They will never access it, just for the feeling that they don't believe in therapy. They think it will make things worse. They don't think it will help. There's lots of reasons. So I can understand that, and I respect people's decision. If they choose not to have counselling for a mental illness because they feel it will only make things worse, then they have the right to say that. But sometimes talking about something and actually saying, you know, I feel suicidal today, or I've had a really bad week, I've not got out of bed, I don't feel like getting in the shower, I don't feel like eating, my sleeping pattern. Just saying it out loud is sometimes what you need to bring the reality of how bad things are. Many people keep all those thoughts to themselves. They never say it out loud. And that is the reason why they end up either taking their own lives or just suffering in silence. So at least talking to, it doesn't even have to be a counsellor, just talking to someone about how you feel usually is the first step, because you're releasing it then. It's no longer a burden. Those thoughts and feelings are out there. And the final reason is some people just can't put it into words. They can't describe what it means to have a mental illness. They could talk to you about it till they're blue in the face, but their feeling is you won't understand. They don't know how to describe it because it's... And I suppose we can't see what's going on in someone's mind, and we can only guess. And even when they're telling us, unless you've probably been in certain situations, and that's with... I've never been addicted to drugs. So one of the things I don't specialise in as a counsellor is addiction, because I could listen, I could provide the support, but I know an addiction therapist is going to have more knowledge. Someone who's possibly been through substance misuse and is now a counsellor, they're probably going to provide a different type of counselling, because I don't know what it feels like to go cold turkey. I don't know what it feels like to be on methadone. I can still provide counselling, but I think a counsellor who has either been through it or understands those things more would be a different, you know, a counsellor who would be more productive. So I do think to some degree people with mental health think, I can't describe what's going on in my head, or you're not going to understand anyway, so I'm not going to even bother trying to describe it to people. So what I would say really is it is your individual choice whether you want to talk to a counsellor, to a family member, to a stranger. But I do feel talking helps. You know, I'm not just saying that because I'm a counsellor. I just feel there are people walking around with lots of things in their head. We call it brain clutter. And it just is clogging up your mind and, you know, making you feel upset, making you feel stressed, angry, frustrated. And you haven't got anything to lose. You know, talking to someone, you're either gonna experience the judgment, experience the backlash, or it could go the other way and you could get the support, you could get advice. So, you know, don't struggle in silence. That's what I'd say to everyone. So I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to share it with anyone if you think it will benefit. Take care. Bye.